Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have a man that we have, a style of man that we have never had on our podcast ever before. First of all, we want to thank Up Next Fight for having us here in their compound. Sorry, I got a little stuck in the throat. But we are old and new money. We have a man that has been known throughout the world for a kick on a show that is the channel of ESPN. How does that feel to be super famous, that your clip went viral, that your head kick is known around the world, that you are kind of a superstar? Can we say superstar or superstar for a day or two?
In your first fight.
How do we label that? In your first fight?
First fight, just, a little background. Kester Abad, first fight for Up Next Fighting. What was it? Within 10 seconds, right?
Yep.
Head kick KO. And I mean, it made it viral to ESPN. And when I looked at this kick, it's one of those ones where, you just wince when you look at it. The sound alone. It was an incredible knockout. And that with your first fight too. It's got to feel good, man.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. And thank you for having me on. It was an amazing feeling. It was crazy. I just felt like a million things going through my head. And of course, so glad that everything turned out the way it did and that even my opponent's all right and everything's all good.
Fantastic. So when you had that head kick, right? So you were starting to fight and you landed that head kick. What went through your mind right away? Was it shock, happiness? Were you scared for the guy because he kind of crumbled and he just didn't move? What was your
I was pretty shocked. To begin, I didn't think that was going to finish him that fast. And I just saw him drop and immediately I was shocked, but I was really happy and I was celebrating. And then after I was done celebrating, I looked down and he was still down. So I started to worry a little bit. Okay. He was going to be all right. And the promoter and the referee told me that he would be okay. And I was just doing my job.
Correct.
And that I did what I was supposed to. So it kind of comforted me to get back to my feet and just continue on.
Enjoy the victory.
And yeah. when you threw out that kick, did you see the opening? How did that happen? Did you see his hands drop or how did you manage that?
I did actually. I saw him look down. Once I saw his eyes drop after we exchanged the first kick, I felt like he was going to go for it again. And that's when I went high and I caught him.
Nice. Yeah, you got to read on him right away. Amazing. So you seem to have a really high fight IQ for a rising star fighter, So what's your background? Where are you training at?
I'm training at Zenith by Robert Drysdale. And then I also train at Mayweather's gym, or I'll try to hop around and get some sessions in wherever I can. There's Uprising MMA and Extreme Couture over here. Mm-hmm. Also One Kick Gym. That's also very big. So I just try to get work in wherever I can.
So my partner here, Steve, his coach trained with Mayweather's. How did you get into the Mayweather's?
So originally my brother started going to their boxing and fitness gym. And then I started tagging along with him until we ended up kind of becoming coaches there for kids and some of the regular classes. And then we started just training more and more at multiple of their locations.
Because I've heard that, to really get into the inner circle of their boxing community there, was there some kind of Shark Tank you had to do? Was there any audition to really, it's the Mayweather camp. They're not just going to take anybody off the street to be a student, right?
Yeah, I think just like anything, you just have to put in the work and it'll speak for you if you just keep putting in the work.
Keep showing up, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
And so, I mean, you seem like a very thoughtful young man. You seem very, very well-rounded. How did you get into fighting? How did this become your life?
So around 10 years old, my cousin had moved in with me from the Philippines, and he was training for the Olympics in judo, and he was also thinking of doing MMA, but he wasn't able to get that opportunity to have a fight. And I was tagging along with him to the gym, and eventually I started taking Brazilian jiu-jitsu with him, and I was competing as I was in my teens, and it kind of just went on from there, where I started learning Muay Thai, boxing, and just started adding everything into my game.
Okay. So you got into, having a a cousin that lives in your house as a judo fighter that wants to be an Olympic.
That's
judo.
crazy.
That is a top-notch fighter in the world right there. And to be living with him, sharing that mindset, what are the kind of things that he trains you or talks about with you? How many years did he live with him?
I lived with him for quite a few years. I believe it was like from when I was 11 to like I was maybe like 15.
Wow. Like formative years. And you're living with a guy who's training like that during those years. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was a grind, and like it really, he would prepare me for my tournaments, and he would get me in the right mindset to be able to go and compete and really do well. So I really like instill a lot of what I've been able to do from him. He got me going with everything.
And you told me you've been off and on training since 11 years old. When did you actually get serious and say, I'm going to be consistently fighting? And then how are you so flexible? Because a lot of people say, I'm only going to stick with one gym, but you're obviously very flexible to be able to go to different types of gyms. Where do you bring that little flexible mindset of yours?
I feel like there's always going to be like things to learn everywhere. So it's good to just go around and just try to take what you can from wherever you go. And from competing wise, I was training like every day in my teens from when I was like 11 till 15. And then I actually did like the worlds in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then after I competed in that and I didn't win, I was kind of not feeling great about it. I lost it for a little bit. And then from 16 to 18, I focused on Muay Thai, and I really wanted to do that. And I did take a Muay Thai fight, and from there on, I just kind of felt like this was something I've always wanted to do.
So at 18, you took a Muay Thai fight? Is that what you're telling me? At age 18?
Yep.
So you have a Muay Thai record also? What's your Muay Thai record?
0-1 Muay Thai.
0-1 Muay Thai. And then, so you've been training for a while, and then your record in MMA is 1-0?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to tell you, the guys over here at Up Next Fighting, Chris and Ryan, they think very highly of you. And that's why you're on the show with us. They think you're going to be a superstar. Why do you think they're thinking of you that you're going to be a superstar? Why do you think that is?
I believe it's because I have just the right attitude when it comes to fighting. I'm not I don't really have an ego when it comes to it. I'm just here to just try to display my skills and do what I can, try to perform at my best and keep a good attitude all around and try to promote positivity.
This is a martial artist that we're talking to.
Yeah,
you can
100%.
You can smell it, right? That's incredible. It's a whole different thing when you're talking to a guy who's a brawler. We talk to all different kinds of fighters, and
I like the brawlers.
We like them all, but I got a soft spot for the martial artists.
No, now I'm curious. So what does your week look like? What does like a regular Tuesday for you look like?
So Tuesdays, I'll try to either get up at 5 a.m. or 6, and I'll take a class from there. And then I get back, I usually stretch, get ready for my day. And then I have work from 9 to 5. So I still do my day job. Right after work, I'll go back to training. And then usually just recovery, do sauna or cryotherapy, and then try to just rest and repeat the next day. If I'm able to, I try to get in 3 sessions if I can. But most of the days, it's usually just 2.
And you're working 40 hours a week? Like you have a full-time job?
Right.
Wow.
Well, also let's shout that out, because anybody who's looking to buy a house in Las Vegas, looking to refinance or do anything like this, come on. We got the baddest and toughest realtor in all of Las Vegas.
The humblest too.
And the humblest. No, he's a smart guy. He'll be honest for you. You know, one of the things about martial arts is we're usually extremely loyal, extremely
fair.
Honest. So when you're thinking about buying a house, I want to let you know, we got this man right here. Shout out your phone number. So anybody needs to buy a house in all of Las Vegas area, they can hit you up. What's your number?
Awesome. It is 702-984-1331 and 702-984-1331.
He's a salesman. He repeated that number twice.
That's right. He knows how to play the game on all the levels. I like this guy more and more.
Look. I think Chris has a winner here, right? Why? Because there's 2 things. You know, when fight promoters talk, I ask them all the time, what do you need most in a fighter? They say 2 things. 1, he needs to be able to fight. Obviously, you got that. And you just showed part 2 right now. You need to be able to sell. You need to put butts in the seats, right? So that's why I think they're so high on you, that you're going to be a great fighter, right? Because you know how to fight, knocking motherfuckers out, being on ESPN. Doesn't get no better than that. And then obviously you know how to sell. As a salesman, that's part of your job, right? So you're also selling not only houses and refinances, but being able to sell yourself to have people come and watch you entertain them, right?
Right.
So please don't stop doing that. So one of the things that I like to talk about is the skill of a martial artist. So when you're always improving and getting better, what keeps the fire going in your mind?
I feel like when it comes to martial arts, it's never ending. There's always like more to learn, especially like even in jiu-jitsu, like there's always things being made or like new moves like being invented.
Correct.
It never ends. And there's so many, like, it's just super intricate. It'll never end.
Correct. Now, how much fun is that? What's your favorite art to train? Muay Thai, boxing, jiu-jitsu. What's your favorite art to train? I know mixed martial arts, we got to use them all. Whatever situation comes up, we apply that technique. But you personally, for me, mine is jiu-jitsu, right? So what is it for you? His is boxing right here. His is just, I don't know what, just tearing limbs off of people. That's what he does.
Drinking blood from my enemy's skull. That's my
Everyone's
style.
got their own style, right? What they like to do, right? What's your favorite style of martial art?
I mean, I really like to strike, but I would say my favorite is still jiu-jitsu. That's like the first martial art that was brought to me. So I was always like, that's the first one I fell in love with.
And living with that judoka cousin of yours too, I imagine your takedowns are nothing to sneeze at, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, he's laughing. He knows this guy. Yeah.
So who's your coach right now? Because you train at different places, right? Several gyms. Who's your main head coaches? Who's in your corner when you come out and fight?
My corner is my brother, Kenneth Pantig, and then my coach here at Drysdale is Cameron Taylor. They actually went to high school together, and Cameron's really been helping me with like specialized we specialize in like just MMA training.
Okay.
Like, so it's like just moves for MMA that's like wouldn't just work in like jiu-jitsu, or like it's like certain techniques that he tries to help me with.
Gotcha. And your brother's a mixed martial artist also, or what does he train as?
Yeah, he's also been doing Muay Thai and boxing since I was a kid too. So
older brother, younger brother?
Always been around. We have a 10-year age gap. He's 36.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's a good thing right there. I like that combination. Usually I'm not for cornermen being family members, because usually they're so close in age, so they don't have that experience. But your brother seems like to have that experience, right? 10 years above you, older than you. That's phenomenal, right?
Yeah, I'm actually the youngest of 9.
What?
Whoa.
Your parents really love each other, huh?
No, you gotta something like that. No, Kester Abad. Where is that name from? Ethnicity wise,
Philippines, I would guess.
is that Filipino?
Oh wow!
I would not have thought that. Kester Abad. That's different, bro. So, what do you see in your future as far as a martial artist? Next fight, October 21. Here, Up Next Fighting here in Los Angeles. What do you see in that fight, and then what do you see for your future? I want to hear about that.
Yeah, I would like to get another finish.
Okay.
I would try to envision like multiple ways of doing that, trying to get the job done that way. And in the future, hoping to try and fight for a title pretty soon, if I can, within the next year or 2.
Oh wow!
Okay. Well, we know the owners, so maybe we can put a good word in for you.
Yeah.
I got a quick question. So with that kick that was heard around the world, because it was a loud one, like you cracked that dude's skull. I was
SPN.
Yeah. Did people from, like, let's say people who maybe don't know that you fight, like maybe your clients, were people reaching out to you like, hey, is this you?
Yeah, actually, it happened quite a few times. I even like went to In-N-Out right after the fight. And then there was a guy like, oh, I saw your kick.
Oh,
like,
shit.
that happened like that.
And does that light a fire for you? Is that what makes you, continue going?
Yeah, it definitely like makes you like gets you super motivated. Just more reason to keep going, makes me more grateful.
Right. And then how do you keep yourself humble? Because most people, when they get that feeling, would, as human beings, your ego can take over in any situation. Something like that, your first fight, you go viral, you knock someone out in 10 seconds. How are you keeping yourself grounded?
Well, I know like it could have happened to either of us. Like we're both like opposite sides of like the same coin. So even though like it's a super great feeling, we have to like stay grounded and know like we have to stay sharp because it could happen to us.
Wow.
You mentioned that he's doing okay after the fight. A lot of times when guys fight, it forms a bond between them. You know, you become friends.
Right.
Are you in touch with your opponent from that event?
Yep. Reached out quite a bit just to make sure he's okay.
Good
I
for
even
you.
like
I
offered
love
to
hearing that.
train with him if we're ever like in each other's city. I'd love to train with him and gain some knowledge from him too and try to help him out.
I personally, if you would have kicked me like that, I would have blocked you for sure. Fuck all that. Fuck this dude. I'm ESPN.
You wouldn't want to train with him and learn?
No,
Yeah.
I'm ESPN famous for the wrong reasons. I don't like this guy.
Man.
So for the next fight, right? So talk about when you're preparing for your next fight, right? Let's go back to your original fight when you first fought. When you're standing in the back, what's the feeling when you're standing in the back, waiting for your name to be called, waiting for your next fight to be up, and you're sitting in the back? What's the feeling that's going through when you're standing in the locker room, per se? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What's going through your mind?
I honestly just try to focus on like my breathing, trying to stay calm.
Okay.
And just trying to stay collected, just be in the moment. Remember that it's just a fight at the end of the day. You guys are just going to fight and just trying to stay focused on that, staying sharp.
Now, you're walking to the gym. You're walking to the ring. The walk is going on. Your music is roaring for you. What's your feeling then?
I think I'm feeling like a little bit anxious, but still just focusing on my breathing and just telling myself like, as long as I'm sharp, that they can't beat me.
Okay. Now, you're up to the octagon, and you got those 3 magical steps. Boom, boom, boom. What's going through your mind at that moment? This is as real as it gets.
Yeah, it just feels like a kind of just like a lift off my body, kind of just like I'm let loose. Like I'm just trying to be just as loose as I can, calm and just ready to go.
Yeah, all the hard work's over. You know, is there some relief almost when the cage door closes?
Yeah.
How was that? Talk to me about that.
It is kind of a relief, like all this work that we do just to, like, we put in months of work just to perform for those few minutes for everybody. And just, there's a lot of things that ride on that. You can't like let the pressure get to you or the lights or anything really. You just have to be really focused and tuned into that moment.
You can say for those few glorious moments, right? Few glorious minutes. But what type of mind has to be so enamored to want to step in the ring? Because there's a lot of martial artists out there, right? But not a lot of people step in the ring and really get down and dirty. What makes you want to get in there every time? I
just want to really test myself and see how good I can be and see what skills that I can.
What type of results you can get after all your hard training?
Yeah.
Okay. And does it surprise you, like, say, when you're sparring in the gym and you're handling these people? I'm guessing most of the times you're getting the best of the fighters, right? When you're training in the gym during sparring, correct?
Yeah, there's both days. There's some days that I get the best of them. Some days they get the best of me. I think that's why I'm so good, is because everybody's always pushing me and I'm always we're always just improving each other. How
about those days when you're in the gym? Then you're talking about the same thing I'm thinking, right? So when you get in the gym and you get your butt whooped that day, you just don't, I don't want to say you don't have it, just other people just get the best of you. How does that feel? And how do you come back as far as refreshing your mind and coming back the next day?
I mean, you have to set your intentions. I would think before you come in the gym, there's days there I set my intentions where I'm just like going to focus on like defense this day, or days where I'm really trying to get after it, go after guys. So it's kind of just like putting that mindset on before you come in.
Gotcha. And so with the mindset, after you lost a day, do you imagine sometimes, what if I lost, if this was the day that I actually had to fight and I lost? Doesn't that bring a little bit of fear or doubt in your mind? Or how do you make that go away?
I try to think of it as it's better that those days happen in the gym rather than on that day. So it's best to just have it handled at the gym and try to focus on what you could have done better. Okay.
Now, for your family support while you're going through all this training, how many family members do you have in in Las Vegas. I know you told me that your mom moved in with you, right? You have to take care of your mom, right? Who else lives in Vegas with you?
It's just me and my mom living together right now, but I have a couple siblings here. I have 2 half sisters and 1 brother here.
2 half sisters and 1 brother. And your brother's
Or 3 half sisters and 1 half brother.
No, you said 2. You can't be changing up to 3 half sisters. You can't just be adding one out of nowhere, bro.
Fractions. Yeah, come on.
I don't like that one.
You got a big family. Yeah.
I don't like that sister. Fuck that. I only have 2.
Yeah.
What about the rest of your family? Where are they at? Do they ever come out to your fights?
Yeah. So I have family in California and also in the Philippines. So my family in California, they make it out every time, compete over there.
Okay.
And now you're in the. Sorry, go ahead.
My cousin that taught me jiu-jitsu or started bringing me to the gym. He lives over there, so he makes it to the fights too.
I bet he's super proud to watch all this happening for you, because he started you, right?
Yeah.
What does he say to you?
He's a big motivation for me. Like he always keeps reading for me, and just knowing that I have that support in my back pocket, it plays a huge role. And
does he still train? Does he still fight, or what's he doing?
Yeah, him and his son have been competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Okay.
They're actually going to compete one here in Vegas in December. I'm looking forward to watching them.
This is your cousin who was a judo Olympian, right?
Correct.
Right. Does he still play judo at all?
I think just jiu-jitsu now.
Yeah. Interesting.
That makes a lot of sense. So when he comes out to Vegas with you, are you going to be training with him at all? Or how does the relationship with you and him work? Because one of the things I know is mixed martial artists, we love hanging out with each other. We love talking to each other. We love, training with each other. How does it work when he comes out with you to Vegas?
Yeah, we'll probably train over here. Have him drop by Drysdale. He hasn't been over here yet, so I'll probably have him come out even with his son. His son's been doing very well. He's been getting a few golds in the tournaments, so it's been awesome to see.
How old is his son?
I believe he's like 11.
Dang. Train killers.
So it's around the same time that I just...
Right. When you started, yeah.
But he's been even doing it before, so he's really good.
So where do you foresee him in the future in the fight game?
Yeah, he's going to be a beast.
He's going to be a beast. If he's already tapping out. And he lives in LA area?
Yeah, they live in Torrance.
In Torrance, okay. And Torrance is a fantastic place for jiu-jitsu. So if he's already taking medals in LA, he's going to be taking medals throughout the whole world.
Taking heads.
Yeah, that's killer. How about you? When do you think you're going to be pro? I mean, you're going to be probably fighting for a title in about a year or 2. And then how soon would you like to turn pro?
Yeah, I'd like to get a belt and then usually turn pro. That would be nice. That's my goal, really. Just try to get a belt and then try to go pro.
Try to go pro. Fantastic. What's your main motivation as far as continue to train, turn pro? Why is that in you, that drive? Because it's clearly in you.
I just want to see really how good I can be. I know the potential is really limitless if you just really go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Who really knows until you really just get after it and see.
Yeah.
And what do you think is going to set you apart from the rest of the fighters as far as your drive, your focus, your ability to teach other kids in the Mayweather camp and going to all these? You go to 4 different camps right now? 4 different gyms?
Yeah, I try to hop in really wherever I can.
And what do you think you're going to be set apart from the rest of the fighters? What sets you apart?
I believe it's just going to be my work ethic and my ability to adapt in situations. I believe I have a lot of tools in the arsenal to be able to adapt anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So up next fighting, how did you end up getting hooked up with these guys? Because, you're in Vegas, they're Southern California. It's the premier rising stars organization of the West Coast right now. How did you end up getting hooked up with these guys?
Right. I've been hearing about all the noise they've been doing and all the moves they've been making in SoCal and their promotion, how it's next level and it's really fighter based. They really do their best to promote the fighters and do their best for the fighters. So who wouldn't want to fight for them?
Yeah. So how do they treat you when you come out here? How do they treat you? How do they take care of you?
It's really amazing. I don't believe any other promotion would do the things they do. They have everything all set up from the weigh-ins to interviews to photo shoots to everything. It's like all lined up and like structured, wherein I think most places it would be like really scrambled and less structure and kind of confusing. Like when I used to go to tournaments for jiu-jitsu, it would be like a mess. Like it would just be a bunch of people on the mat and no one has brackets or anything.
Dang.
And that's kind of what I pictured for like amateur MMA fights. But up next has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a level up for sure. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people like to compare it to, I already kind of foresee it's right close to the UFC. And in certain ways, I think their production is actually a little better than Bellator. I'm just, from what I've seen, what I'm absorbing everything and the way that they care for their fighters, it's right up there with the best of them. It's just that let them get their name, let them get their experience, let them get all the action.
What's this? We're coming up on their 12th fight. It's only been 1 year that the organization's been around. They've already made this kind of splash with viral KOs like yours too, helping. It doesn't hurt. I got to say, you're really good for the brand.
That's for sure. And what do you see with them? Like, what's your feeling? Because you talked a little bit about it, but let's talk about more of that. So when, say you come in and you talk to Ryan, or let's say you talk to Chris, how do they make you feel? How do they talk to you as far as a fighter promotion relationship?
It really just feels like kind of just like a family relationship. Like we're just friends and we're just like chatting it out. It's like very easy to talk to them. And I think I'm pretty easy to talk to as well. So it's just a great relationship we all have.
And let me ask you something. They're not going to listen to this interview. Who do you like more, Chris or Ryan?
I like them both, honestly.
They're both right there.
Good answer.
Your boss, yeah.
Right on, brother. So when you're preparing for this fight, talk to me. Everyone has their little, people are always so curious about the meal plans and all that stuff, right? Everyone eats different. For you yourself, Filipino, I know you got the delicious food. I know you got to lay off of it when it's time to cut the weight and all that stuff. How is your diet? What do you eat? How often do you eat?
I'm eating just like normal, just like 3 times a day. I'll eat breakfast.
No
lunch,
lumpia,
dinner,
though, right? You're not eating no lumpia, no pasta, no nothing like that right now?
Yeah, just like towards the fight, maybe like a month out, I tried not to eat too much. Like I'm not getting super full when I'm eating.
Okay.
But I still eating a good amount, and I'm just like putting in extra work, so the weight just comes down pretty naturally.
Okay. And do you do your own meal prep, or is your mom there with you? Is she doing all your meal prep? Do you kind of train her how to cook your foods, what to cook, how to do things, or what? Why are you laughing, bro?
Yeah, sometimes she does cook for me, but for the most part, I'll just try and grab like some healthy choices here, like from wherever I can get it.
Like what? Like what? What are your meals? What are your meals that you like to eat? Break that down.
Like just like steaks, potatoes, pasta. I love pasta. I've been trying this meal prep brand actually that my sister had got me into. It was Huel, and I tried them, and I've had like 10 days of the worth of their stuff, and it was pretty good.
And then so with that meal plan, right? What else are you doing as far as for training? Obviously, you doing the mixed martial arts training, eating right. What about, let's talk about your recovery. How's your recovery coming along? What do you do specifically? Some people do ice baths. Some people do hyperbaric chambers. Some people do those compressed leg things. What do you do? Or do you just rest?
I do cryotherapy or sauna, and then sometimes I'll do an ice bath.
How many times a week are you doing that?
Well, usually for cryotherapy, it would be like once a week. And then the sauna, I'll do like 2 or 3 times.
Quite a bit. Yeah. You see, the ice baths I do them. I'm not even training, but I do them because it's needed for our bodies, right? Especially if you're getting older. Now, for you, how often you say you're doing that 3 times a week, or would you say?
Oh, yeah. So I'll usually swap those, either like I'll sauna or I'll ice bath, usually like 3 times a week. Okay. And then I cryotherapy once a week.
It's part of your training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, we're happy that you were on. We have the ESPN superstar here, at least superstar for one day. We're going to tag you up. Send us your Instagram and also your phone number again. So anybody that wants to buy a house in Las Vegas, we got an MMA fighter here that's honest, loyal, hardworking, and can protect you when you're showing houses. just in case someone needs to get kicked in the head, you got your back, right?
And make sure you say your Instagram so we all know where to find you. YouTube, Instagram, whatever you're on.
Shoot him out to us,
Sir,
brother.
my Instagram is Kester.Abad, KESTR.ABAD. And then my phone number is 702-984-1331.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Great interview. Did great. And again, anyone who wants to buy a house, this is the man right here in Las Vegas. All of Las Vegas. Hit this man up.
And
you,
October
Kester.
21st.
And October 21st.
For the Up Next Fighting Organization, you'll see him back in the cage, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Awesome.
brother.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
Stay
Kester.
healthy. See you soon.
Have a great